So we're here at Dirty Fest with mountain bike legend Hans Ray. If you're into BMX, you're probably into mountain biking, you probably heard of Hans Ray. He is the OG legend. If you want to talk about content creation, we're standing here right now with a gimbal and an iPhone and a microphone. Hans was into content creation before anybody. This guy was making VHS cassettes 25 years ago. So if you want to talk about content, Hans is the guy. Hans, tell us about the early days of getting in front of people before the internet and before everything else.
Well, I was, first of all, the reason I'm here is because I was heavily influenced by BMX scene. Back in Germany where I grew up, I would like read BMX Action magazine whenever I get my fingers on it, and I was just blown away by all these pro riders making six figures, driving Porsches and stuff, you know. And then like when I came to America, I was fortunate enough to get sucked into this world, partly working with GT, but also we got a phone call the very first week I was here. BMX Plus magazine made a video, and they happened to have every freestyler and every BMXer was in that video, and I got to meet all my heroes kind of in that first week. And then later I did a lot of shows with the freestyle teams together and various BMXers and stuff. So I've been always on the sidelines. I never raced BMX, but I love this sport, and I feel like I'm stoked to be here and see all these people.
And and after you did that first thing with BMX Plus, at what point did you realize that the video thing and getting out to a much wider audience than a physical event was the way to go?
Yeah, I mean, back in those days there was small video production. Like that one video was called 101 Freestyle Tricks, and it was like a how-to video, and every trick was explained by a different pro kind of. And then it wasn't until like about 1991 also that Richard Long, the late co-owner of GT, had told me one day, "Hey Hans, it's so difficult to explain to people what you can do on a bike. Why don't we do one of those videos?" And that was kind of the same time when GT had started to set up an in-house video department, which was kind of unheard from. You know, maybe a couple of skate companies had one, but I don't even know if that was the case. And GT started producing, and we did that first video, not really expecting anything, but there was nothing out there like that. There was only videos of like racing, cross-country race. It was like watching grass, and these videos caught on and they spread like wildfire. I mean, I always say what YouTube was to Danny McCaskill was kind of VHS, and that was Richard's idea, and yeah, that kind of started the whole video thing.
And I think a big difference is that right now most content is free. You know, you might have to watch a few ads, but you're not paying for the content. But back in those days, you would make a VHS cassette and sell it, right?
Yeah, GT sold them actually. Yeah, I used to get royalty checks. I forgot about that.
But apart from the GT videos, there was all the props videos, all the like trials videos and stuff like that. Like it was a legitimate business, like, you know, being able to sell VHS cassettes and later DVDs to people, right?
Yeah, it was. And I mean, for GT, their motive, or the GT was like, if we can break even, we take it, because it was such a promotional value, those DVDs. They would be shared. I mean, people still tell me today they wore them out. You know, they would watch them 100 times in slow. There was nothing out there. And then often those same videos ended up being aired on TV. When they had the first X Games in '95, and the same year there was a baseball and a hockey strike, and they didn't know what to put on the air. And I remember like watching my videos on Thanksgiving afternoon, like playing two times behind, you know, back to back on ESPN, you know, back in the day. So these videos got a huge amount of mileage out of it, and yes, there was some money made. That was never the purpose for me. For me, it was just like to stoke out the sponsors, and we didn't really even realize what those videos did. You know, it's now that you look back 25 years and you have these people come out of the works and telling you how, you know, how they used to watch it in slow motion and how it changed their life and how would they practice those tricks and stuff. And so, yeah. Yeah,
I remember the BMX videos. I mean, you know, I used to buy all those original videos, and they were maybe 15, 20 pounds to like buy a video. And I remember guys used to come to mountain bike races with like the car trunk full of these cassettes, VHS cassettes, and people would go over there with their 15, 20 quid or whatever. And I just think, like, what a different world we live in now, where most of the content is free, and like I said, people just have to watch a few ads in order to access that content. But that content still costs a lot to produce. But I think if you look back then, the content production was probably quite a bit higher because you needed a crew and whatever. Whereas right here we got a phone and a gimbal and a microphone.
No, they weren't higher. We had these home video cameras and one guy filming, and some guy editing. It was really low budget. But talking about the impact, like one year the GT distributor from Argentina came to me and said, they met me at the trade show and said, Hans, you're really famous in Argentina. I said, really? Yeah, we sold 10,000 of your videos. And I was like, oh, I don't remember that royalty check coming across the desk, but we were both like, Richard and we were like, just like, you know, they made their own copies, but they got them out there. And to this day, like, you know, like all these OG mountain bike people in Argentina, they grew up on those videos.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, and so for GT was the best, like, you know, GT became the brand in Argentina for so many years, and so those videos did a lot of stuff, and the nice thing was back then, it's not like today where there's like hundreds of thousands of people posting hundreds of thousands of videos daily. There would be one video coming out a year, and everybody would wait for it, and then it would be shown off, and you know, so it was easier in that way, but at the same time, you know, it was, you know, how it is with Pioneer World.
Yeah. And we got a lot of old BMX legends here today. We've just done this big GT thing. Have you had a chance to have a look at any of the racing yet?
A little bit, yeah. And I heard there's a Legends autograph session. I want to see who's there.
Well, you better hurry up and get over there. There might be some people waiting for your autograph. Thanks a lot, Hans. Great to talk to you here at DIRTYFEST.
Yeah, thanks.